talking to him.
Hello?
Yeah. That's his son.
What's this one?
Yeah, that's his son.
Yeah, let's take this.
This was supposed to be an advisory council meeting. For those of you who don't know what advisory council meetings are, when I was first elected president, I decided that I wanted each member of the board of directors to pick two residents out of the community to meet once a month, and we kicked back and forth issues that either the board was considering or that the board should be considering. The whole concept of screening new tenants came out of the advisory committee. So just for that one thing, it would have justified itself, but it was justified in a lot of ways. I have since opened it up within limits, and that is anyone who wants to be a member of the advisory committee can, obviously subject to the fact that I don't need 50 advisors. 20, 22 would be enough. But today, it is an advisory committee meeting. It really is only about one subject. And obviously people care very much about that subject because you're all here and I'm used to just empty seats. So if I get stage fright, forgive me. As is, I'm losing my voice. The board passed a motion and people have misread the motion. I'm not even going to go to it. The motion said that in order for the restaurant to stay in business, the community would have to support it. And we put out a motion that in effect said the community should decide on a given set of numbers and a given set of circumstances, all of which can be changed and rearranged because that's why you're here now. But nobody is going to... I got a lot of emails from people who said, you're forcing me to do this, and they just didn't read what was in RiverWalk Talk. We're not forcing anybody to do anything. You're going to have to vote on it. And it's going to have to pass by a majority vote of all of the people who live here. Now, if you think that's an easy thing, let me tell you, we haven't gotten half the people who live here to ever vote in any election. So getting this through will take Herculean efforts, but it's worth the discussion, it's worth a shot, and there are a lot of people who think the restaurant would be a terrific amenity here. The lead on this has been Jack, so I'm going to let Jack say a few words, and you can have my microphone. Oh, you have one up there, okay.
Yeah, thanks. As I was just telling Bert a couple of minutes ago, I've never been so nervous about something. I've run and owned multi-million-dollar businesses, but those decisions were pretty simple. The decision we've got in front of us as a community is probably one of the most unique decisions we've ever made. We're going to be voting, and you're going to be voting on whether or not each resident is going to commit themselves to $120 a year that they will get back. That means that they can go in and buy a Sunday paper once a week for a year. They've gotten their money back. They can buy filters for their homes. They can buy filters for their vacuum cleaners. They don't have to buy food. They can use it in any way they want. If we vote yes, we're going to have an exciting new cafe. And I'll explain that a little bit. If we vote no, it's over. I'll repeat that. If you vote no, it's over. Rich Hardy has guaranteed me that he will stay and continue to run the RiverWalk Cafe for 2 months while we're doing the voting. Once the voting is over, then we either have a new and exciting cafe that we can all be proud of. That will assure that our home values are growing like they have been. And I'll show you those figures in the next couple of minutes. I've got 4 real estate folks here from us, or for you to be hearing from in the future. Illustrated Properties, Jane and Carol, and from Corcoran, Bill and Joe. And you'll be hearing a little bit from them. The figures I want to give you are facts. These are from the real estate companies who've been doing some research for me. And I feel like I'm on Fox News with a chalkboard. From January through May of 2012, that's last year, when we had the old deli. Typical thing was a townhouse. Townhouse was, now you all know I'm left-handed, sold for $158,000. That was a typical townhome, $158,000, that's what they were selling for. From June to September of last year, when we had no marketplace, nothing, it was gone. That same townhouse sold for $147,000. Went down $11,000 because we didn't have a cafe. We had a boarded up building that was totally empty. It made our community look like a failure. Same problem that VillageWalk is going through. What happened from the time that the new cafe kicked in until present? That same townhouse is now $192,000. Those are figures. This is what's happening with your home. Let's take something like the Glenwood. Okay, the Glenwood was $158,000. Excuse me. Back when the old regime was here. Then it dropped to 212. Oh, I'm sorry, 214. Thank you. I told you I was nervous. We went from 214 to 212. Presently, the Glenwoods in here are selling for 231. You think that place doesn't make a difference in your home? Yes, ma'am.
Don't you think that has something to do with the economy over there?
I'll go over that. That's coming up next. Something as simple as a Windsor. Windsor was $360, and now they're $405. There were none sold during the period when we did not have a marketplace.
Did the economy have anything to do with it?
Yeah, the question was just asked. I'll be answering that in a couple of minutes. A Manor, when that place was closed, a Manor sold for $375. And now the Windsors are selling more for what the Manor did just a few months ago. Now, you just asked the question, did the real estate have anything to do with it? The market itself. I also asked the real estate people if they would go back into their records and let me know from, say, the Turnpike West, roughly, what was happening to the real estate market over in the year 2012 and 2013. And here's what happened. We went from a given point, everybody else's homes increased 4%. That is the normal growth of all of the homes, excluding RiverWalk, Bay Winds, Andros Isles. That's what they sold for. They increased 4%. That was from 2012 to 2013, President. RiverWalk alone increased 18% or 8%.
There's a big difference between 18 and 8.
Why? We live right next door to Andros Isles. We live right next door to Baywin's. Why did our homes increase instead of the 4% that everybody around us? From 4 to 8. I think hearing from the real estate people, they'll tell you that a lot of it had to do with the marketplace. With that, I would like to ask some of the real estate people to come up and let you know what that place means to this place. Gene, you want to come start out, please? And you can ask questions all you want. Let me get up here with you.
Hold this.
Stand here now.
No? Okay. Hi. Let me put it down. I'm Jane Guzman. I'm sure most of you know me. I happen to be the only full-time resident that also works full-time in the town centre. So that gives me a unique ability to see and hear everything. I talk and sell real estate and RiverWalk all day long. And nobody loves it more than me, so I'm really, really passionate about this. I'm the biggest advocate for our community. I can't say enough good things about it, and I think all of us that bought here initially bought because we're in a lifestyle here. We're not just any other community. When I put my money down in 1994, I was living in another DeVoster community, which was great. They're all well built, they're all well designed. But I heard about this concept of his signature community, which had a town centre. And a town centre has gathering spaces and wonderful amenities that create a village. We're more than just a community, we're a village here. And I hear and see people gathering all day long, and I've raised my 2 children here. I just can't imagine living anywhere else. And I'm so grateful that I work here and live here in such a great community. But the village idea has to thrive with a space like the restaurant and cafe. It's a huge part of what makes us a unique lifestyle. And we do sell a lifestyle here. I think we all agree that we bought because this was a unique idea. Not just homes, not just any community. And when I talk about RiverWalk to people that walk in the door every day, they get really excited about the idea of, gas pumps, cafe, conveniences. So to have all of that really sets us apart from all the other communities. I think we have a unique opportunity here to make RiverWalk even better. I mean, it's great now. We all agree, we love it. But we have this space and this ability to create this fantastic atmosphere. Movie nights and restaurant evenings that Rich has discussed, maybe putting on special functions. He'll have such a greater ability to provide more facilities and just overall better ability to serve us. I feel that we can move from economy to first class. That's the way I see it. I think the plans are going to, they sound terrific. I know that you'll probably elaborate on that more. The idea of maybe being able to do deliveries. If he's got the ability to serve us with a full functioning restaurant and all the facilities that he will have, will be able to do deliveries, pizza. I just think there's so many possibilities for us. Rich Hardy is a great guy. I see him, talk to him every day. He's open to new ideas, but he needs to have the ability to expand and be able to deliver more to us. But he knows what he's doing, so not only do we have a guy that's a good businessman, he's a good cook, and he's nice. Every time we all walk in there, I think we all agree they're friendly, personable. It just makes our community feel good. And it's all about how we feel, about where we live and every day. And the gift card, that's how I see it, a $10 a month gift card. We're all going to be able to go in there and spend $10. That, to me, is just a no-brainer. Even if it's just to take your family and friends once in a while, buy filters, buy your vacuum bags. That's going to be easy to do. I did want to tell you, not so much talking about values of homes, which will definitely I believe, be very detrimental if we don't have the cafe. But I wanted to talk about the maintenance fees. Our maintenance fees here, due to our board's great ability to negotiate contracts, are fantastic compared to other Devoster communities, like an Oakmont-style home in Bear Island, for example, the Villas of Bear Lakes and Saratoga Bay. These are all Devoster communities. They're older than us. They're the homes that I sold 20, 25 years ago. $9.95 a quarter for Bear Island. The Villas of Bear Lakes Estate, $12.50 a quarter. Saratoga Bay, $900 a quarter. Our Oakmont model, just to compare to that style of home, $273 a month or $819 a quarter. So $30 a quarter additional to improve our life. It's just, it doesn't bear even discussion, in my opinion. But I really have to give thanks, and I don't tell you enough, the board and how they've worked tirelessly to maintain the integrity of our community, and I'm very grateful, and thank you. But again, the value of having our RiverWalk Cafe thrive and offer us great services far outweighs an empty space, something that we don't have. So keeping it going, keeping it offering us great facilities, I don't think the issue is hard to sell. I think we just have to get people to vote, and that's the problem. I think everyone here is going to agree this is just a no-brainer. I just can't imagine that for $10 a month people are going to keep it going. Even if you don't use it, just go buy your filters there, go buy a coffee there, or take your friends there. It's just, we've just got to stay above the competition. And in the spirit of giving back to our community, I wanted to also mention that Carol and I are now hosting movie nights. We're starting this Friday. We would love everybody to come. We're trying to do it outside, but weather permitting, we might have to do it in here. Rich has already agreed to offer $1 hot dogs, $2 burgers. We're going to be supplying popcorn. Every month we're going to do a different theme. We're going to try and keep it family-oriented, at least through the summer. And we'd love you all to join, because we are a community. We've got to stay that way. I really feel like we just need to keep it going. That's all I have to say.
A couple of you asked earlier about real estate values going up, going down, and whether or not the figures that I sloppily put on the board were affected by our restaurant, cafe, or whether or not it was affected by just the natural flow of our real estate market finally gaining some steam and going up in value. How would you answer that question to the two people who asked about it?
I think it's a combination of factors. I really don't think that the values have changed tremendously. Obviously, I will tell you from my perspective, we lost some sales because the cafe wasn't there. Because there was a few people that thought, they were on the edge about buying here, and when they heard that the cafe was out, this was during the period that we didn't have it, they were off. But I like to keep this on a positive note. I think that space needs to just keep going. It's definitely something that we need to keep to maintain our values.
Thank you.
And I love RiverWalk more than anybody.
Wait.
And I do also want to invite anybody. We're not just a real estate office, we're like a concierge service. People come in all day long asking for us for advice on things, and I just want you to feel free, any of you, to stop by any time if you need handyman or anything we like to share and give back. Thank you. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
The second set of figures that I gave you, looks like an airplane taking off high and low, came from Corcoran. I'd like to ask Joe if you'd take a couple of minutes and maybe come up and maybe give us an idea why areas around us grew at 4% and RiverWalk grew at 8%. I noticed you brought all your notes with you.
No, I just brought my clipboard. I don't know what it's like to walk around without a clipboard. But, and I'm not prepared because this was a bit of a surprise, but I've never had a problem talking before an audience. I can tell you a story about this house this manor house, we had been working with a customer that wanted to live in Riverwalk. They were more interested in a Windsor than they were a manor, because the manor, of course, there were only 6 of them on Crystal Lake, and one hadn't come up for sale for a very long time. But the long and short of it was, as we worked with this customer, the major reason why this particular couple wanted to live in Riverwalk was because of the town center. They are urban people. They were living in Boston. They still are. This is a second home. And their interest was in having the ability of living a lifestyle, which, again, as Jane put it, is what we sell. To be able to walk to the market or walk to a restaurant or buy a golf cart and come over that way and utilize the facilities. So during that period of time, unfortunately, the word was out that the market was going to be closing. And of course, in good conscience, we could not say to this buyer, well, you know, everything is fine and please proceed. And when we showed them the manor, they wanted to buy it. But, you know, again, with people who are not buying a primary residence, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for a decision to be made. And during that period of them making that decision, the word came out that the market was closing. So we told them that the market was closing and that we didn't know what was going to happen. But in fact, we couldn't let them go ahead and buy something knowing how much it meant to them. And they didn't buy it. Well, because the market had been what it was, the house remained on the market long enough so that when the word came out that there was a new tenant, I called them in Boston and I said, well, as of
September 1st.
something, the market will reopen. And, you know, what do you think? Do you want to move forward? And they did, and they bought the house. So first they weren't going to buy because the market didn't exist, and then they went ahead and bought the house. They've spent a lot of money improving it because it was a house that had been virtually the original owner. So that's a positive story. I can tell you another story because my perspective is a little different. I work a lot outside the community as well as in the community. Recently, we sold a house on Irma Lake to someone who was a referral to us through a corporate relocation situation. They were coming in from Minneapolis, Minnesota, with Lockheed Martin. They wanted a golf course community. And so I spent a great deal of time driving them around to Turtle Creek up in Tequesta, the Tequesta Country Club. I took them into Bear Island because I had, of course, checked out all the membership fees for all these country clubs because, by and large, these were not country club communities. These were communities built around a country club. So, in the end, I said to them, the husband and wife, well, you know, maybe you'd like where I live. It's not a country club community, but there are country clubs, private country clubs available for you to look at or join. But I think it's a piece that you need to see. Now, mind you, this is Tequesta, Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, so on. I brought them in here. They absolutely fell in love with the community. They fell in love with the idea of the lifestyle that we're selling here. And they bought the house on Irma Lake based on what they perceived as being an alternative, particularly the wife, because it was the husband that wanted to play golf. But the wife saw this as a real opportunity to have a lifestyle community that wasn't primarily focused on golf. So there's another one. And there are probably many, many more stories. Quite honestly, when we moved here in 1998, so we've been here 15 years, when we saw this, and by that time, in 1998, the town center had been finished, we just couldn't believe that this was such a great opportunity to have almost a Disney-esque kind of feel with the bridges and the cafe. And we've always been, no matter who owned the market or the cafe, very involved with shopping there and having lunch or breakfast there. So to us, it's just a part of our way of life. And I concur with Jane. I mean, it's hard to talk about, and Jane said $10 a month as a gift card. I mean, when we're talking about $10 in a 30-day period, that's not an increase in your HOA dues. It's a chit. I mean, we sell, believe me, if you think this is going to be a hard sell for those of us who like it. Imagine when you're working up in Palm Beach Gardens and you're I've worked with people where they go into Ballin Isle or Marisol and it's $57,000 to move there because the lowest membership fee, we just sold a house in Ballin Isle, for the social membership was $45,000 plus $12,000. So it was $57,000 at the closing in cash. Okay, so, and that's a social membership. So do you know what a social membership involves in a place like that? The restaurant, the fitness center, and the tennis courts. They're not playing golf for $57,000. If they want to play golf, they have to pay $130,000 plus the annual fee. So, when you look at this, at not a fee, but a credit of $10 a month, it's a lot to talk about for very little. So I can't imagine living here without it. And that was the other thing that Jane just said, which I would tell you. It's pretty tough driving people around this community, which we did for a number of months, and drive through here and have that place empty. Believe me, that's a tough sell. And I have to say this. Anybody who's vehemently opposed to this, I have to say, at $120 a year, if you plan on living here another 5 or 6 years, that's not even $1,000. I can assure you, I've sat in many a living room, not only in RiverWalk, but in a lot of other places, where we've had to justify $10, $20, and $30,000 losses for people. Why wouldn't somebody, if you want, and I'm not a gambling man, but I sure would put up $600 or $700 over a 5 or a 6 year period to reassure myself that I have every opportunity to get the highest price for my house. So if you can't figure it out in any other way, think about that. People don't negotiate $600 and $700. Trust me, we negotiate. And when the market was down, we were negotiating thousands and thousands of dollars and helping people rationalize losing 10, 15, 20, 30, 50. We had a closing where somebody, and it was a RiverWalk property, they went to the closing with $90,000 so they could sell the house and protect their credit. And we're talking about $10 a month. That's a credit, not a fee, a credit. So, I'd be hard-pressed to be thinking in any other way than I am now, and I hope the majority of the residents in this community will share that thought. Because to talk about this at $10 a month, that's not a fee, but a credit, I don't know what we're talking about.
For a guy with no notes, you talk pretty good.
Well, once I get going.
Oh, God. The things we talked about, if you vote no, then it's over. If you vote yes, there's many wonderful things that are going to happen. The finance committees met several times over this. We've talked to the different board members about it. They're excited. People in the community who are the shakers and the bakers of our community are excited about it. Close your eyes and picture what our marketplace is going to look like in the future. The back deli area that we used to go and get a coffee and wait 10 or 15 minutes and get served on paper plates, that's going to be transformed into a kitchen that you're going to be able to get hamburgers and hot dogs and maybe grilled chicken to pick up and bring home with you. Be able to pick up the telephone on your way home and be able to say, hey, I want this, I'll be there in 15, 20 minutes. And be able to bring it home and have dinner with your family without being able to prepare food. Or a place to be able to bring relatives and people for a more expanded dinner items. The marketplace itself, or the cafe now where you're eating, we know it looks like a school cafeteria. None of us like it. That's going to be transformed. There'll be a better seating area, better tables, better chairs, more pleasant place for you to come, meet and greet with your neighbors. The outside will be transformed. And instead of those chairs, the tables that we've got now, better seating, more attractive, something the community can be proud of. This is what we want. This is what you should want. Now, Rich Hardy and the HOA will do this as a joint partnership. I already have a business outline from Rich Hardy stating what he will do. We'll do the build-out. He'll put in the what do you call it? Thank you. That stuff. Okay, the furnishings. And it'll be beautiful. It'll be a place that we can be proud of. Is it going to mean an increase in your HOA dues for the HOA to do this? No. Our treasurer has already informed us that this can be done. So if you're hearing crazy rumors about us having to raise your HOA dues $100 or $200 a year to be able to do this, no. All right? I'll be honest with you, Rich, do you want to answer that question? He's trying to sneak out the back door.
What was the question?
The question is, where's the money coming from?
Now, who controls it?
We have different, reserve accounts. And depending on how this is scoped out as to what these actual dollars, we're probably not talking a lot of money to do this. If we're talking, something that was, I want to say large, yeah, that would be entirely different. So I think the key thing here is that the construction or remodel versus the equipment, and that's what Jack said, the partnership. To me, the equipment is probably the bigger cost in terms of Rich Hardy making the investment.
Thank you.
But how much is it?
Pardon?
How much is it?
All right.
I don't know the exact numbers.
Okay, we don't know the exact numbers. The reason being is we have already gotten a letter from the Metro Design Group. These folks are architects. They are waiting for us to hand them a check to do all the architectural work. If the vote comes back no, we're not going to do it. If the vote comes back yes, the first thing we do is hire the architect. He will lay it all out, working with Rich Hardy and your finance committee, and then we have to put everything out for bid. We've got a rough idea what it's going to cost, but that's so variable that we don't know yet.
What you're saying is give me a while.
No, absolutely not. I just got through telling you that there will be no increase in your dues. So I'm not asking for your wallet. I'm asking for your cooperation. All right?
Go ahead.
Just a basic question. Is this happening because he's not making enough money now?
Give you a quick idea.
Because I don't understand why this is
All right.
happening.
I'll give you a quick idea of what's happening right now and what's going to happen in the future.
And what will stop it from happening again next year?
I'm sorry, what?
Next year, what will happen if you say you're not making enough money?
Okay, right now you've got, say roughly 1,300 people are going to pay. Because we have some people that are in foreclosure, we have some people that do not pay their HOA, they do dues on time. So let's just, for convenience sake, take out of the 1,367 people that we have, our homes that we have in here, 1,300 pay. So you got 1,300 homes. Right now what's going on is we've got roughly 200 of our residents that are using the marketplace, and they are doing a total of $18,000 to $20,000 a year, or a month. I'm sorry, $18,000 a month, $18,000 to $20,000 a month from 200 people. Okay, so each one is spending roughly $90 a month in there. If we can get all 1,300 to pay $10 a month in there, these people are already paying their $10 a month plus more. They're supporting it right now. We need these other 1,100 or $11,000 a month to use it. It's a credit.
The guy in the back?
Yes, I'd like to know how much of a monthly gross they need to operate at a profitable basis.
As a businessman, I'm going to guess probably around 28 to 30,000 a month.
Yeah, the question was, he's not making money now?
No. All right. So this in here, we would hope that out of the 1,100 people, that what would happen would be some of them would go in there and go, this is fantastic. I love going there for coffee and meeting with my neighbor. I love meeting the girls that were playing Mahjong over there. Go in there. I love buying my coffee there on a Sunday morning or having breakfast on a Sunday morning with friends after church. So maybe half of these people might spend $30 a month instead of only 50. These figures all get added onto here so that we now have a business that will stay. If we do this, Rich has committed himself to not only put up to $50,000 into that marketplace in the stoves, the ovens, and everything else that has to be put in there, but also he'll sign a new 5-year lease. All right?
Annette, did you want to?
I did. If I understand you correctly, the money won't go directly to the cafe. The control of the funds are going to be with the association. Is that correct?
All right.
And you will lay it out?
I'll take that back. What is going to happen is Rich is going to invest $1,500 in something called Patron Pal. He is also going to invest the money to be able to buy these small credit cards.
Okay.
And then let's say that you have your January through your March quarterlies.
Right.
And you pay that to CAMS Plus. CAMS Plus at that time needs 2 or 3 weeks to be able to disseminate who paid, who didn't pay, how much of the $30 who it went to. And then they will provide the HOA and in turn Rich Hardy with a list.
Right.
Showing that Barry Bieber paid his $30 for the month. And Rich will enter that into his computer, and then Barry will go in there with his credit card and he'll swipe it. And it will load $30 into his credit card. Now, when he goes back in the following day to have, say, lunch with his cronies, overlooking our beautiful Willow Bay here, and he spends $8, he'll swipe it, and the $8 is taken out. He's got 32 left.
Where's the money?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Where's the money?
The money goes into the, I guess, the fund.
He has the control of the fund or the HOA?
The HOA is it.
Rich, you've been working on it.
Yeah.
The HOA collects and will, once, like Jack said, timing-wise in terms of the quarter and how it ends, and we submit a list to him. At that point in time, it would basically be in like 1/4, 1/3, or whatever it is that we collect. And that's the way it worked around here.
So what you're saying is that the association does have control?
Yes.
That's all I wanted.
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing that'll be able to be done with this card is, I know if I get that card and it's $30, with me, the way I eat there, because I don't have any food at home, I'm a bachelor. I open up my refrigerator, I get an echo. I will go through that in a matter of probably 4 or 5 days. Very easily. I can go up to Rich and I can say, Rich, look, I'm going to give you $100. And Rich will give me $110 worth of credit on my Patron Pal. So I give him $100, he gives me an extra 110, he swipes it. Now I got that money. Now, the beauty of the patron pail is that when you have your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors, any of your friends coming down from up north and they want to use the pool, for example, just give them your card. The kids can go over there and play and come over and eat and swipe the card. I mean, it's a great opportunity for the community to have nothing but a win-win-win situation. And we'll keep our place. Yeah, Joe.
I'm sorry. I would like to preface this before I say, I'm all for this. I mean, whatever the board or everybody decide, I'm for it.
Talk to your neighbors. Convince them.
Anyone. If somebody dies or moves away, what happens to the balance of their credit?
I was going to say, if someone died and they had $20 left on their card, I think that's the least of their
Well, I
worries.
know some people they want their credit.
I don't know. I guess they could put it in their will. You know, I give $20 to my next door neighbor.
That's fine, but what is the answer? Jack, are these transferable?
I'm sorry, what?
Are these transferable, these cards?
No. The reason being, it's a good question that Joe just asked, because I've been hit with this by a lot of people. They all got the idea that I'm going to go up to Mrs. Jones, who never gets out of her house. And I'm going to wait until at the end of the year, she's got $120 left over. And I'm going to offer her $90 for this. And I'm going to go in there and I am going to make myself a deal. Where this doesn't work, and this is why you have to use it yourself, is these people here, they're not going to sell it to each other. They're going to sell them to these people. I'm going to buy it. Barry's going to buy it. Lane's going to buy it. The ones who are in there promoting it, yeah, you too, buddy, they're going to buy it. So this figure doesn't go up to that $25,000, $28,000, $30,000 that we need to keep our marketplace viable. These people will not trade the card back and forth among themselves. The new customers won't. They'll go to these people. So therefore, no. We're going to beg you that you do not try to transfer it. Is there a way of catching you and throwing your butt in jail? No. But please, we're here to solve a problem, not to figure out the sneaky way around it. Rich has a question.
No, I just want a clarification. When you said reload, after somebody is, basically used $120 worth of credit, the reload of that money in the card is all controlled by the dealer.
Yes.
You only do it once. The HOA is only in control of that $120 that of course is out to him on whatever the business are.
Yeah. In other words, the HOA is only responsible for the original $30. If you're going to reload it because you have friends coming down, you've got kids, relatives coming down, your grandkids are coming down, and you want to go in there, here's an extra $50, so the kids can use it for ice cream, hot dogs, or whatnot. That's between you and the marketplace. But that's how that patron pail card will work. He can also use it for promotions. Rich has also told me that he will be able to do a thank you type thing. That if you do $50 worth of business in a month, maybe he'll work out something. And Rich, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. Luckily, he's here. Maybe he'll say, okay, look, come on in Sunday morning and we'll give you a free breakfast. Rewards type cards.
Miles?
Yeah, Miles, I'm sorry.
Number one, we're going to change our documents. If the order for this to be included, we have to change our documents. Now, that document will, whatever the wording is, we haven't seen the wording yet, we haven't looked at the wording, we haven't put together. Now, once you change the documents, you need 51. That would say you will contribute, means you will purchase this car. It's not $120 does not mean that to me. Doesn't bother me. I'm getting credit for other people to do it. Okay? Now, once you put it in there, what are you going to do? Is it every year? It doesn't say for 1 year. It doesn't say it goes on. It goes on and on and on and on. Year just follow, just like everything else. If you want to change the document, you got to go through the same procedure. This is Florida law. This is not something we made up, okay? We, as a board, we cannot demand you that we have to give you approval. We cannot do this on our own. Number two, another thing that comes up here. What is Rich going to do with that about the oven? Putting in an oven. Have we got clearance? Have we got permits from the city? We have, above us, is a residence. Now, we have to rent the ovens and everything. Have we got that? I know we've got an architect, we're paying for this. What about this obligation to us? There's got to be some incentive. Rich has to put something in here. We put it in, and say he party, signs a lease for 5 years. That's great. But where's his incentive? What is he doing for us? We're giving him a subsidy. You've got to remember we're subsidizing it. Whatever you want to call it, it may not seem that. But what if Jane built it next door, down the road, and she says, I have the same problem? What are you going to do when she has the right to the bridge? What are you going to do then?
That's a good
All
point.
right, to go back to your first question, architecturally, is this possible? Rich and I met with an architect, and the architect told us that if we were to go propane gas, for example, for the ovens and the stoves, the grills, and so forth, that we are going to have a problem, just like Miles mentioned. In order to be able to vent a gas-fired flame, it has to go into an insul hood, and then it has to go out the roof area. That causes a problem because, according to our health laws and everything else, a platform has to be built up on the roof, so the man who is going to be changing the filters monthly or bi-monthly has to be able to sit by law or stand by law on a solid platform. He also has to have a way of being able to get up there, which means now we got to start putting in permanent ladders, permanent walkways, and everything else on our tile or clay roofs. So it will be electric. The kitchen will be electric. There will be no propane. The rules change. Therefore, the venting isn't the problem that it would have been if we had tried to go with a propane source of energy. So that takes care of that problem. And what was the other?
Documentation.
The documentation. That I am not an expert on. If Bert wants to chip in here, we know that we have to go through a document change. The document probably will be written saying that as long as that is in existence, or something like it in existence, that there would be paid $120 credit per homeowner per year. If there is no more restaurant, because heaven forbid something happened to Rich, then of course there would be no need for any resident to put that money in. Is it for 1 year? No. It would be for every year, as long as we have a cafe.
How can you ask people to vote for something when you don't yourself know really what it's going to cost and where the money's really going to come from?
We're not
I
asking.
asked that question, you really could give me an answer where the money's going to come from. And if you're going to spend $140,000, $160,000 a year, wouldn't that money be better spent on the infrastructure, on the roads here, on the things, or maybe there'll be a hurricane this season?
Where did you get this? You sound like someone that I ran against about a few months ago. Where do you get the idea that the HOA is going to be spending $140,000 to $160,000? There has been nothing in here discussed. But that's what you just said. That's what you just said. We're not asking the HOA to spend.
The slightest idea what these things are going to cost. You don't have the slightest, if you're asking to vote on something, and you really don't know if you're going to vote.
Yes, we do.
Last thing, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be negative. According to the village report, 5% of the people here, 5%, you voted, use use the restaurant. What makes you think the other 95%'s gonna?
Number one, I didn't read the article. Number two, I just got through telling you that there's roughly 200 people that use that place out of the 1,300 homes that we have in here.
And you really believe that people didn't buy here because it was some restaurant? You really believe that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I showed you numbers. I showed you numbers of how it went down and came back up. If you don't want to believe, argue with the real estate experts. Anyone else? Yes.
People are gonna ask me, I know, what this is gonna cost. And I think you should give a number. So if somebody asks me the question, I can give them some kind. I'm not saying it's gonna be a firm number, but some kind of an idea.
I'll read you something from Rich Hardy, and I don't think anybody knows the restaurant business better than he does, of all of us in here. He knows what's involved, what is going to be involved. And what Rich sent me a new business plan that I forwarded to our finance committee, and I must have it here somewhere. Here it is. Rich says that the marketplace will make the following commitment if the proposal is passed, and I'll get to answer your question. Assist in the day-to-day management of the gas pumps, which is still a dream among many of us, and Barry will be getting up saying a few words about that in a couple minutes. Renovating existing marketplace, remove a row of gondola shelving to allow for additional seating. Paint, window treatment, new seating package. Add a soft seating area with cushion chase and couch, call it a sit and chat area, kind of like Starbucks. Or a coffee break area. Install 2 TV screens. Add additional refrigeration for prepared meals and cold and grab to-go items. Obtain a wine, beer, and tobacco license. Bring in a lotto machine. Purchase and supply all non-fixed cooking equipment needed to convert old ice cream parlor into a commercial kitchen, not to exceed $50,000. We are, off the top of our heads, are figuring that this is going to cost roughly $60,000 to $80,000 to do. Half of it borne by Rich. This is our estimate. We will know more once the people say yes, that they're willing to do it. Then we will come up with exact figures.
So far out. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, refrigerator costs cheaper. Refrigerator costs deep fryer. Don't look like an architect. He draw the right pictures.
Well, considering the fact that we're not going to have to pay for the deep fryer,
You don't have to pay.
and we don't have to pay for
Who's going to pay for it?
Rich Hardy,
He's bringing up the money.
up to $50,000.
$50,000. We'll get you a third of the way through. Stop playing, huh? You know what an Excel system costs? You have no idea.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do. You have restaurants, do you not?
I own a sports bar.
Oh, that's wonderful. You built it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? By the way, Barry Bieber, I'll answer you. Barry Bieber has something he wants to say. Yes, ma'am.
I am certainly very strongly in favor of this plan. I have a question about the logistics of the vote. That it's going to take place when, I don't know what percentage of our community is away, but I think it's 30% or more. I'm taking a guess.
As we have...
How are these people going to be educated? How are we going to get to them and encourage them to return votes?
That is an excellent question. I talked to a couple of the board members prior to this meeting, as recently as last night, and I came up with an idea. Whether or not we'll be able to do it, I don't know. This is being recorded. We will be sending out a letter. It's about so wide, about so long, costs roughly $1.50 to send out to every single homeowner. Those are the people who are away for the summer. Those are people who maybe own 2 or 3 units and just rent them out. They will get these letters. They will be asked to vote for the change in documents, allowing the HOA to collect the prepayment, if you will, to use in the marketplace. My suggestion was to see whether or not we could take this videotape and put it on CDs. If we could get them for just a few pennies or a few cents, stick those in the envelope, and then the person can stick it in their TV, or excuse me, on their computer, and see the meeting and see what the questions were and what the answers were. Or we could post it on YouTube.
That's very nice, but you're not getting both sides of the story.
Get what?
You're not getting both sides of the story.
We have a pretty full.
No, I'm sorry for that. Me, not getting both sides of the story.
Well, very much so.
Motion already out there. You're gonna have what you're gonna change in your documents. It's gonna take 684 people to vote yes. Anybody that's approval votes. Now, you gotta understand this, everybody. You've got to get 684 votes. That's votes in your hand saying yes. If you do not vote, it's a no vote. That's what it takes to get it. We've gone through this. This is a hard sell. But if you're going to put something out, you put it out with both things. I remember going back years ago when everybody was also running in the second game. When they put out a straw poll, the poll was very ambiguous. You've got to put out the information. You've got to put it out the way it's supposed to be put out. You've got to give...
We will be running street meetings very similar to what Miles did when we were doing the roof sharing plan. So we will be doing that as soon as that comes out. We'll be doing the weekly.
Miles just said, if you don't vote, the council says no vote.
Yeah, you need.
My neighbors don't vote.
You get done. We have to get half plus one votes saying yes. Half plus one. So the people in here who are for this and excited about it, get to your neighbors. Talk to them. Okay, Barry, you have the microphone? Sure.
The other thing that I think we all have to consider is if this is not approved and if Rich Hardy disappears, what is it going to cost us to adequately make use of the facilities that we have? And that is strictly going to come out of all of our pockets. And whatever it turns out, it could be a continuing expense on a regular quarterly basis for whatever use of that facility is decided by the board. And that doesn't have to come for a vote. That facility cannot remain vacant. That would be an utter disaster for this community, as a town center. That is the biggest thing that should be in your mind, is to figure out if this turns out to be no and Rich Hardy disappears, what use of that building is what it's going to cost you to make that building into an amenity of some sort, and what is the continuing cost per month.
If you made it a quad room, it wouldn't cost as much as making
Barry?
Jack?
You have the mic.
I'd like to ask one more question. Can Rich make it on, we're talking $130,000 a year, approximately, $11,000 a month. Can he make it on that over a period of 12 months, even when the summer comes along and people are left?
Let's ask him. Rich Hardy?
What was the question, Joe? I'm sorry. I have the answer to your other question.
The question was, if we pass this, will you be able to make it for the 5 years or longer?
Just on the $120 per person revenue that we're talking about? No, obviously we couldn't take it on that, but, we're counting on, our marketing plan of what we're gonna do. My opinion is, I have a plan to recoup my money. I'm gonna get $50,000. Obviously, I have a plan to recoup my money, on it. So, no, over and above, I know that what we need each month. And right now, I need at least an additional $10,000 a month in revenue to keep it open. That's what we need.
So what happens after that?
Understand.
What I'm doing now, I know it's going to take an additional $10,000 a month. If I do it, because it doesn't make a difference to $2,000. The numbers don't change.
Oh, I'm all for it.
I'm just want to answer your question. Over and above what we're doing now, in order for us to be in existence, I'm putting money every month out of my pocket just to be there, to the payroll. So that's where my shortfall's coming from. I'm not looking, to take money from that.
I know, I understand.
That's all.
Okay.
Remember, Joe, it's not the $10 for 1,300 people. He's got this core now, and what we have to do is add to it. So right now, he's doing $18,000, $20,000 a month, and losing money. Having the rest of the people who aren't using it presently kick in, that will put him over the top. He'll be able to survive, he'll be healthy, and he'll be able to continue serving our community for many months, many years to come.
Jen, can I do a question?
Yeah.
How are you planning to market this in the next few weeks? And can we get architectural drawings that we can publicize to the residents?
I wanted to do that before, but the only way we're going to be able to do them will be to get the architect to lay it out itself. And that would mean that the board would have to stick its neck out and hire an architect, which we don't want to do. Don't want to spend the money until the community says, okay, let's go for it. I guess Rich and I could sit down with maybe an artist or someone who has architectural experience in our community and kind of like get them to visualize what we're trying to do. Not me, but the community's trying to do. And then be able to show you what it would look like, what the dream is.
Yeah, I'm not, it doesn't have to be very elaborate architectural drawings, but to give people an idea of how we envision the place to look like in terms of furniture.
Let me work on that. I'm good at stick figures. Real quick, please.
So I said one question. What happens to my $110 credit card if I decide I don't use it? Who has that money? The deli or the HOA?
Kelly. And thank you very much for your comment.